So you're watching because you want to get a hold on your finances, because you want to get out of debt, you want to plan for your future, and you want to be prepared for anything that can come along. So I wanted to talk to you about 3 little steps that I've recently come across and set up that are helping me get out of debt, and I hope that they will help others too. Did you ever realize that in grade school and college, there's never a course called Money 101? Why? Why don't we have Money 101? I don't know. But I could have used that course, and I kind of want to give a Money 101, the easy steps of kind of taking control of your finances and your life and not letting yourself just become overwhelmed and, struggling to stay above and, trying to get ahead and never being able to save and living paycheck to paycheck, and the debt keeps piling up and you keep getting further and further and further underwater. I want to start by saying that the first step is to understand what your debt is. So when you look at your finances, do you ever look and see what your total balance of your debt is? Do you ever look and see where all of your payments are set up? Or do you have auto pays going for the minimum payment to all your creditors? Auto pays are not the best way to do things. My advice is for step number 1 is to look at all of your debt and create a list. Create a list of each individual creditor, how much you owe, what the percentage is, and put them in the list in an order of the smallest debt owed on the top and the largest debt owed on the bottom. This leads you to step number 2, which is debt stacking. Debt stacking is a simple concept that I've been using for a while, and until recently, I didn't know that it was something that wasn't common practice for a lot of people, and I kind of wanted to share with you what debt stacking is, or, a way to kind of pay off things a little bit faster so you're not continually paying the minimums and paying the maximum interest, because depending on your credit cards, depending on your student loans or mortgages, that interest can compile really, really fast. And every bit of time you can get not accruing interest is time well spent, because that money can be used for something more useful. So the little strategies that I came up with a little board that I'd like to show you about debt stacking. So in this case, we have a credit card that is $100 or $1,000. We have an auto loan for $10,000, and then we have a home loan for $100,000. The payments are, in the perfect world, the credit card is $100 a month, the auto loan is $200 a month, and the home loan is $300 a month. Well, let's just pretend like there's no interest. So if you make the $100 payment 10 times, all of a sudden your credit card has become paid off. Your total payments are $600. So now if you take off the credit card, you really have a minimum payment of $500. Well, instead of using that $100 that you just paid off on that credit card, move that payment of $100, add it to the $200, and start paying your auto loan at $300 a month. And this works with, anything, whether it's a $50 payment, a $10 payment, a $20 payment. Pay off the lowest thing first. Then move whatever that dollar amount is that you've been paying that's comfortable in your budget and move it into the next lowest debt. So in this case, it would be the auto loan. Once the auto loan is paid off, then you can move the auto loan, which was $200, and the credit card, which was $100, to your already $300 payment. Now you're making a $600 payment towards your mortgage. If you notice, a common thing is that the payment amount in your budget never changes. It's always the $600. So this kind of helps you dig out of debt a little faster, and because you're making more than the minimum payments on your second 2 creditors, you're able to pay less interest and get out of debt faster. It's a great tool. The next thing I have to say is make a budget. Look at everything, what you're spending on clothes, food, fuel, house insurance, household products, anything, cell phones, anything that you spend money on a regular basis, look at it. Is everything a necessity? Is everything a need? Or is it all wants? Or is there a lot of impulse buys that you could be using to pay down your debt so that you're not paying that interest on whatever it was you bought? Because if you buy a pair of shoes at 27% and you make a minimum payment of it, was that $100 pair of shoes really worth the $300 you'll pay for it in the end if you don't start getting rid of debt? Realistically, it could be for some people. For me, it's not. My goal is to get completely out of debt, so at the end, when I'm finished paying off the mortgage payment at $600 a month, I can take that $600 a month and invest it into my future, whether that's into my future home, whether that's into a retirement account, whether that's into something to pay for colleges or whatever it might be. After the debt stacking is done and the payments are paid off, I will have freed up that extra $600 for longer. And I'll be able to free that up to invest it. And if you invest it wisely, you can prepare for your future or for an emergency fund or your short-term goals. So there are a few things that once you are able to start saving, you should think about. That's short-term, emergency, and long-term. Where do you want to go? The biggest thing when you're developing your budget is you've got to understand your why. Why is it important to you to stick to your budget? Because we don't want to keep paying all these people, 5 to 27%. Little secret for you. If you call the credit card companies and talk to them, they might give you a lower interest rate. I had no idea. I made a few calls. I got one from 27% to 9% just by making a phone call. It took me 5 minutes and it saved me so much money. So I would suggest doing that. But you really want to know why. Why do you want to get out of debt? Why do you want to save money? What is out there? What is your debt holding you back from? What are you afraid of? A lot of people are now scared of money, scared of investing in themselves, scared of investing in their future, afraid to jump out of a job that they're stuck in, afraid to just do anything that involves money and personal and professional development. I know until recently I was terrified to not have a, everyday income. And, in the end, losing my job was one of the best things that happened to me because I am learning so many more things about helping myself, helping others. And as I apply myself to new positions and new opportunities, I am just expanding my knowledge, and I am so excited to share everything along the way because I know there's got to be other people out there that are in the same situation, that are so under debt, that it's this cloud that kind of goes over you. It can ruin relationships. It can hold you back from what your true dreams are because you're scared and you don't know how to get out because you never had that Money 101 class. So I'm working on Money 101 for me, and the debt stacking has worked pretty well. I've paid off 2 credit cards in the last 8 months, which has been awesome. So those 2 payments are now stacked up onto another debt, my student loans. Was education worth it? I think it was. For the last few years, while making those giant student loan payments, it has been a burden. It has burdened me. It has burdened my family. It has burdened a lot of people. However, because of debt stacking, now there's more money within my budget because I've paid off some of the smaller debts, which have freed up some of the income to make larger dents in that student loan payment. And now I'm not looking at my education as something that I have wasted my time doing because I'm actually living my passion and I'm using my education. I am learning how to manage money, I'm learning how to market things, and it has been a life changer. So don't ever get discouraged and lose hope in the overwhelming debt and going and just jumping at anything that pays money and always changing careers and changing jobs to try to earn a little bit of extra money. Yes, that is great, but if you're not living your passion, you are going to feel stuck and miserable and depressed, and it is a horrible, horrible place to be. There are so many ways that you can get out of debt, that you can earn extra income, and that you can live your purpose. Do you know what your purpose is? figure out what your purpose is. There are so many tools that help you do that, and there are so many people out there looking for you and your solutions and your tools just to make yourself available for everyone. And with social media and all of these new video capabilities and broadcasts and webinars and seminars and all these things, you really can share your gifts with so many people. And I have found my purpose, and that's to help others get through the struggles that I've gotten through and maybe make their life a little easier. I want to stop dragging it through life and start living it. That's why you can find me at stopdragonit.com. That's stopdragnit.com. I am Jennifer Dragonette Jacobson. I have a master's in management, a bachelor's in marketing, and an associate's in social and behavioral science. I have had a bunch of marketing classes. I have taken Smart Success by Chalene Johnson, and I am currently enrolled in the High Performer Academy by Brendan Burchard. And I am so excited to start implementing these tools and to share new things with you to help us grow together. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you got a little bit of information about this, about how to get some extra money, because getting out of debt will seriously take a load off of you. And if you come up with a plan, stick to your budget. That means when that $100 doesn't comes out of your first payment when you've paid it off, start stacking your debt. Start stacking it into the next thing and working to get out. Because when you think about it, is that impulse buy that you really want for that $100, is it really worth staying in debt for that much longer? Or do you want to save so that you can save for your future and have an amazing retirement and be able to do everything you want to do? I would love to continue to help you with smart money and how to build an online business, how to be the best you, how to do anything that I'm starting to come up with. I'm going to share everything. So I will post about what I'm speaking about. So if it's not for you that day, the next one might be. Have a great night, and I will see you all soon. Ta-ta!